let's like really take a little deep dive into, the trusting deeply, like a little deeper. What do explain maybe, what do you mean by that? And then following up on that, whenever you want to talk about that, is what do you mean by lead by following?
Yeah.
I
And thank
love
you for
that.
that. So it's important
I
to start with
love that.
definitions. And
Yeah.
as a former scientist, I tend to be fairly analytical. And then I also have a very strong, apparently very strong woo woo streak. So you never quite know what's going to come out at any point. But really, for me, we'll just start with leadership. For me, the definition, how I define leadership, I'm talking about inspired leadership. And what I mean by that is you're inspiring and empowering others. Okay. I used to say inspiring and motivating others to follow. And I've since reflected on that, and I found that motivation is really on them. They have to be motivated themselves, right? So, but I can, as a leader, empower. So, inspire and empower others. Whether or not they follow, that's also their choice. So, and I'm big on the freedom of choice piece here. So when I talk about following, um, leading by following, what I mean by that is really looking into this awareness of other. So who is on your team? Say you're a leader. Who is on your team? It might be your animal team, your dog or your horse or your cat or multiple animals in your family, and really understanding them. So there's that, seek first to understand, that was derived from the Bible, many, many years ago, that Stephen Covey then wrapped up into the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People in his book when he put that
Mm-hmm.
out many years ago now. But so seek first to understand. So when you understand what motivates the other, what brings them joy, why do they do what they do, what are their best strengths, all of those other things, and you do that through observation, curiosity. I think as a leader, it's most important to be curious and sincerely curious about other. And then eventually you begin to follow them, right? Follow their curiosity, follow their areas of interest, follow their strengths, and help empower those areas. And then eventually invite them into your vision as a leader. So the vision could be a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, peaceful walk with your animal. It could be a ride with your horse. It could be,
Mm-hmm.
a cat sitting in your lap purring. It could look like anything. Um, and so there's this mutual cooperation and kind of collaboration, and you're co-creating the experience together and traveling the journey together, optimizing both of your strengths. So there is always, always, always a need for command and control type leadership. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I do have great respect for that. And there is also a time for command and control type leadership when you're in emergency situations with your animals, and they just have to come with, right? They may be afraid, they may be whatever, and you need to really be assertive, and you may need to use some other tools in order to have them get the kind of veterinary care or whatever it is that they need.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to have this full suite of tools in our toolbox to be able to deepen and build the trust, so that when we do have to use force or this kind of command and control type leadership, we have enough trust in the bank, so to speak, that it's not going to erode and cause irreparable damage to the relationship overall.